Okay, guys, we're going to show you a couple of ways that you can put a card on file for a customer for future purchases during their current purchase, or that can be added through the contacts. First, we're going to show you how to do it through the sales order module. You click on your sales, you create your new order, select your customer. Once you've selected your customer, select the products they want to purchase. Club sandwich, some drink. We'll change the quantity to make it larger. And it gives us our total of 1780. So from here, we're going to confirm the order. Once we confirm the order, we'll go into create a payment. And since we don't have a card on file currently, we're going to put a card on file for the customer. And how we're going to do that is, of course, we can use the Bluetooth reader to insert the card and capture it, or we can just type the card in manually, which is what we're going to do right here. So we're going to go into the card. We're going to, when we start doing this, we're going to go ahead and hit save card as well, so you can keep that on file. We're going to enter the card number. Then we're going to put in the customer's name. And then we're going to enter the expiration date for the card. And then we're going to put in the 4-digit year. And then we're going to put in the 3-digit code. And then this field right here is used to save the identifier of what that card is. So a suggestion you could use is, since this is a Discover card, I can put in DISC, and then the last 4 digits of the card, 0, 8, 10, and then the expiration, so you'll know if the card is still current when you look in the file, and I'll show you that in a second. 05 2026. Okay, once we've done this, that will save the card and process the transaction for the customer. So you'll be able to actually use it right now and be able to use it in the future. And then it's going to be stored in the contact information, and we'll show you that step next. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and complete this transaction for this customer because he's ready to eat. And then we're going to go to the invoice and invoice this order out. And as we already know, our payment's already processed, and what's going to happen is once we click invoice, it's not only going to take this card, which here's the transaction for the card that it just processed, it's also going to have to complete that transaction. It will actually go out and post the payment for you, so you don't have to go in there and post it manually in accounting. It's already processed it, collected the funds, and put it in payment. Now, if you have a customer that just wants to use a card, let me show you how to do this. Okay, so you're going to go to the contacts, find your customer, and then if you'll notice, it's the normal layout for the contact section, except it has an area called Saved Card. Once you click on this section, you'll see that the card we put in there a few minutes ago is there, and now we can add an additional card. Kind of the same process, except it generates a token first. So you're actually going to, it's the name of the card is what it's asking for. So we're going to do the same thing we did on the other one. We're going to put that it's a Visa. We're going to put the last 4 digits of the card on there. And then we're going to put the month and the year that it expires. So when we look at the card after it's in here, you'll see that you can tell what card it is. We're going to push generate token, and then cardholder's name. That's where we're going to put the name that's on the card, because there could be a case where if it's a company card, it can be different than the actual contact address. So we're going to have Herman Munster, and we're going to put in the card number, and we're going to put in the month of the expiration. And then we're going to put in the 3-digit numbers off the card. And then we're going to put in the year and hold it and the complete 4 digits. And then we're going to save this to the token. So now, when we look at it, we're going to close this, save and close. And now you'll see that we have a Discover on the file. We have a Visa on file that both can be used for a customer. We're going to go back over to the sales order module. We're going to create a new order as Herman just came right back and ready for some more to eat. Hungry guy. Then we're going to find what we're going to sell him this time, which we'll just look at some kind of chicken sandwich. And he had fries on the last order, so he just wants something else to drink. How about another Minute Maid to go with it? Then we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to confirm the order. And once we confirm the order, we can go in and say create payment. And now, if we pull down here, we'll see that he has a card on file. He actually has two cards on file. So you can take one of those cards and run it and just check with the customer and say, hey, would you rather put it on your Discover or your Visa ending in 011? However you would like to explain it to them. We're just going to use the Discover again, and it's set to authorize and capture. And again, just as a review, depending on what you want to do with your transaction, if you're not going to ship it right this minute, you can authorize it and then wait till you ship it, if that's your company's rules, or you can authorize and capture at one time. I'm going to go ahead and show you just authorizing and capturing after, because there's one extra step in there. So you're going to do an authorize, which will go out and get the authorization, and those hold for a period of time, depending on your credit card company, and you're going to process the payment. Now, once it's processed, you'll notice you have a couple of fields that popped up here. You have capture transaction or void transaction if you're not going to actually use that transaction. But you can still go ahead and create your invoice right here. But we'll go ahead and deliver the product like he's going to take it with him here in a few minutes after it's finished cooking. We're going to validate it through the delivery module. And then from there, we're going to go to the orders to invoice, and it'll be right there on the top. Then you'll see we still have these same options here. So at this point, we know that that's what he's going to get. And we can say capture transaction. Now, one of the functions with this is if you end up needing less money than it's authorized for, you can change that price down. You can't go up on it. You'd have to run another transaction to add to it. But, depending on your sales case, you could pre-authorize the cards for a different amount in the sales order module. If you didn't know how much the final price was going to be, but you wanted to pre-authorize the card for, say, 500, and the total ended up being 480, you can lower that down to 480 without any problems. Okay, so we're going to capture the card, and then that will complete the transaction to where the money is captured. And once we create our invoice, that will also, and we confirm our invoice, that's actually going to go ahead and post the payment to this sales order, to the invoice from the sales order. And that is no other steps are needed in accounting. It matches up automatically. It knows the amount, and if you can see down here, it actually has the paid and when it was paid. And then if you need the transaction information for just verification, you can really see that. And then you can see it's already reconciled that transaction. So your accounting people will be very happy about that. You complete it with just send and print to your customer or whatever your process is. So that's kind of how we can have a card on file, and it gives you the ability to have a lot of flexibility with your customer. Thanks.